Hey guys, I'm Steven here with Team Covenant, joined by Zach, and we're here to tell you about the newest iteration of our Force Tokens product that we absolutely love, compatible with a game that we absolutely love, and that is the Star Wars LCG by Fantasy Flight Games. And you can see maybe some differences already on the table if you're an old school Force Token user. And we've got some good things for you. If you're a brand new person, you've not seen the Force Tokens before, we're going to explain a little bit about what those are and kind of get you caught up to speed on why you have to have these for your next game of Star Wars, because you do. I mean, there's no argument, right?
Totally changes the game.
Well, let's kick it off with the focus token. Zach, hit them with a focus token.
Absolutely. So probably the most important token in the set is the focus token. And this token is a smoky gray looking material, kind of black. Important, it's translucent, intentionally not very big, so it doesn't take up a lot of space on the card. Oftentimes a character or an objective will get buried under some focus, and it's like, oh, I can't see my cards anymore.
Yeah.
So very well designed, and I love the look on them. It's, as I call it, the eyeball, which you can tell from looking at the token. So love the focus token. 28 of those in the set.
28 in the set, and whenever we designed this set, as I kind of hit on it a little bit, it's all about getting these things out of the way of the game. Nothing has changed from the first iteration of Force Tokens to this one. The goal is still the same, and that is to stop the abuse of covering up all your cards with giant pieces of cardboard.
Because the art in this game is fantastic.
The art's fantastic.
And covering that up is just...
The design of the cards is fantastic. You need to read the text. There's a lot of important things going on in these cards, and when you're just dumping big hexes of cardboard on them, it sometimes gets in the way. And that was like the first things that we noticed out of the box with Star Wars was, man, there's some big honking tokens, and there's a lot of them, and they're all over my cards now, and I don't really know. I can't really appreciate the cards to the fullest. So we got the focus token, small. I think it looks fantastic. I hope I think that, because I had a good hand in designing it.
Yeah.
And very small, out of the way, boom, it's there. And then moving on to, let's talk about the shields, because the shields are more or less unchanged from the first iteration. If you have those earlier sets, no surprises here. Nice translucent blue. One of my favorite actual colors of acrylic that I've ever seen is this blue. Love this blue. And it says shield on there. It goes opposite the side that the damage goes on. So you have a nice little array of tokens there on the bottom of your card. L-shaped to get out of the way.
Super important to
so
note.
You can still read the text. Especially on that left side of the card.
In the spirit of getting out of the way, L-shaped fits right there on the card. Also, one of the most translucent tokens in the set because it goes over the damage stat. Mm-hmm. But you can still pretty easily see the damage, and your opponent from across the board can also see it. And
it feels very shieldy.
It does feel shieldy.
Which is an official term, I think. Shieldy.
Shieldy,
that's
what you want.
Your hands.
Next up, we have the damage token, which if you are a fan of the original set and you're looking at the damage token here, you'll notice a stripe on it. It's still still an L shape. It's on the right side of the card opposite the shield. And they stack really nicely on the cards so that they don't really get in the way. The addition is the stripe.
And
why do we add a stripe?
Well, you want to know something awesome, first of all, is these stripes line up. That's, of course, on purpose. Because you want awesome things like that. Yeah, the stripes line up. Of course they do. If you have 5 damage tokens on something, those stripes are lining up. And that looks awesome. And so that was actually a priority.
Gotta have stripes.
Whether or not you care about that is one thing, but I do. And so there you go. There's the stripe. And the reason that we put that stripe in there is because we're introducing a new token to the set. That is the 3 damage token. And it was, we could just have different colors to represent the different, kinds of damage, different quantities. But really you want these things as clear as possible, not for you, but for your opponent, right? When you're sitting down at Worlds and you drop these tokens onto the table, you don't want to have your opponent constantly like, now what does that mean? What is that exactly? What is that representing? So I wanted to make it as super clear as possible. So we've got a nice bright orange damage token with 3 stripes to represent 3 damage. And then we've got the nice single damage token in that red with a single stripe to represent the 1 damage. And if you happen to have a 3 damage and 1 damage stacked on top of each other, that middle stripe, it's going to line up.
Yeah, and I want to note the orange color choice there. And these things may seem small, but they're really important to us. When you're looking across the table, there's a lot of tokens on your opponent's side of the board. And one thing you really need to be able to see is how much damage is where. And most importantly, this is on the objective sets. So if you're looking across, a lot of times with the original token set, you have 4 of the L-shaped 1 damage, and it's kind of hard to tell how many damage is over there just from glancing. But if you look over and you see an orange and a red, you immediately know that's 4 damage.
You know it's
just
4.
Super quick, and it looks great. And in the spirit of getting out of the way, if you have cards like Darth Vader with 4 health, he may get 2 or 3 tokens, and pretty quickly it adds up. It's really just another, there he is, super easy way.
Well, a single token, and I know everything I need to know.
To get more tokens off the board. We want to get away with having to use the least number of tokens on the board as possible, because there's a ton that hit the table, and there you have it.
Yeah, guys. So we're trying to find a balance basically between tokens that look awesome and tokens that disappear, and hopefully this is kind of the middle ground that we found that we really dig as we play with these things. We think it's about the right balance here. So check these out. The sets, there's 28 focus, like Zach said.
Yep.
We also have 25 of the single damage. We've got 5 of the 3 damage. You don't need much more than that. We certainly haven't from playing with them.
Should have you covered.
Yeah, and then shields, you get 10 of those guys. And if you ever find a way to get 10 shields on your side of the board, heaven forbid that you lose that game, because that's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
Truly impressive. So for those of you guys who are just now getting into this, want a new set of focus tokens, buy them right now. Definitely worth your time. It'll support us in doing our Star Wars LCG thing here on the website and on YouTube and everywhere else. But if you're an old school focus token user, we love you. You really made this happen and kept our attention on the Star Wars LCG kind of vibe, and made us look at ways to improve these sets. And we're going to offer the 3 damage separate from the entire set. So you don't have to rebuy the entire set if you just want to get the 3 damage, which makes sense. You don't get the stripe on the damage. If that matters a lot to you, then yeah, go ahead and just grab a new set. But if it doesn't, then you just pick up your 3 damage tokens and you're good to go. You're all caught up, and you've got kind of a refreshing new take on the Force tokens. So hopefully you dig that. Anything else, Zach?
The only other thing I really want to note is that our production values continue to go up.
They do, yeah.
The more tokens we make, the more you guys support us, the better we can be at what we do. And the production on these is actually, the quality of the engravings is actually a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If you have an original set, or you maybe have a friend that has one and you pick one of these up and you notice a difference in the quality, that's intentional. We are getting better at what we do and getting better equipment and whatnot. So these are slightly better. If you have an old set, those still work perfectly fine. It's still what I use, actually. And these are a nice addition, especially the 3 damage tokens, but the production quality is higher.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to support what we're doing, this is a great way to do it. If you're a Star Wars LCG player, you dig the YouTube videos, you dig the site, you want to just kind of throw some support our way, this is a great way to not only do that, but also get a really amazing set of tokens to use in your games, show your friends, and to just kind of be the envy of the community. All right, guys, so here is Force Tokens 2. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.